had before to proper virtual, provision of services.
That's what I'm thinking. Yeah. You want virtual? Ask to unmute.
Yeah. Well,
Can
I
you
did
unmute?
that. I don't think that's really helping.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what she's saying. Yes.
Okay, great. That's what she's yeah.
We need,
Okay,
we need
okay.
a young person on this end of it.
Okay.
So
Very good.
what, Lou?
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
Oh, I was saying, so she says that's what she wants to know. How can she get her off of homebound, which I guess is the 4 hours a week, onto virtual learning? I would suggest to you that your daughter may qualify.
You find it.
Yes, ma'am.
Hi.
It finally worked. It finally worked.
Yay.
You got it. Okay, so yes, prior even to COVID, and I'm just using this as an example. My daughter actually had to be homebound, and the school did fight us on that. But because the school was directly the culprit of the environment, the environment was the cause of her anxiety and problems she was having, is why it was approved to have homebound. During that time, we had actually asked for virtual learning because we had heard of other school districts who had done this, not in our area, but had done some kind of where they would allow the student once in a while to interact with the school, with the classrooms. Of course, they fought me on it as well because they said that due to privacy issues, they could not. 5 months later, COVID happens and everybody's on virtual. And I said, they were fighting me on this, and now they've made it possible for everyone, which to me was a total contradiction of what they were fighting. But I didn't make a big deal of it. Now we're back in this situation again, where we are forced to go back, and my daughter continues under treatment. So this is something that now we do have the option to do the homebound because it continues right now. But the virtual worked very well for her. The homebound did not. And because of that, I'm trying to find a way to do it to where they can see the benefit of why she should stay in virtual learning, then they should give it to her, specifically because the school is the environment that's causing the issue. It wasn't something, it's something that directly is affecting her. And that's the same situation here with a lot of our kids. The environment in the school, the fact that they're not wearing masks is going to be the culprit of why they need to be given the opportunity to have virtual learning.
So that was my question. By the environment, you mean the anti-mask environment. You're not talking about some kind of bullying or school anxiety or other stuff.
But it does, because some of our kids are affected by that. Like she specifically, because of her anxiety and the fact that they don't, like in her school right now, they do have the mandate of the mask, but we're afraid they're going to remove it. We've already been told that. Now, that alone is even worse and harder for her.
If she's receiving treatment, if they've already done homebound based on her emotional disturbance, I think you should request evaluation for qualification for special ed. Under special ed, you have a lot more.
She has that. No, she does have that. We did all of that.
So she's special ed, not 504.
You said 504, Mom.
When she started, when we started, they would not evaluate her the whole process. I had to do it quickly, and we went through 504 because it was the only option they were giving me until we fought, and they had to evaluate her. And lo and behold, they realized, okay, yeah, she does qualify for special education.
Okay, so your issue is going to be the same as we were talking about with other folks. You convene an ARD, you present what you're saying to us right now. You're saying, look, she had homebound because of her ED issues. Those persist. In addition to other stuff, we're thinking that you're going to be presenting the fact that the virtual is the least restrictive environment and the appropriate IEP for her. Is there a better way to put that, Lou?
I don't. I think that's right. This is what the appropriate placement is for her, given her challenge.
And what I would like to add to that because she has
that's her LRE.
Yeah,
that's her least restrictive environment.
Because she has an IEP, this proposal that the TEA is going to come out with, that she goes back on homebound and gets 4 hours a week, a day of a week or a day, 4 hours. Anyway, she has an IEP, and she still has to get all the services that are in her IEP, in addition to her regular instruction in all of her core classes. So what they're proposing is not going to work for her. She needs true services in the home. Am I right?
Absolutely.
Yeah, virtual. I mean, let's not only is that a need based on like her emotional situation,
Mhm.
we also have data that support the fact that virtual has worked for her
Right.
recently. I mean, this is not some kind of theoretical thing, that maybe I think it'll work for her. We know it will. It just did. So, you present like, I would like to, you can even be kind of snarky. I'd like to continue what we were doing 2 months ago. That was that was working. And,
Right.
you present that as the least restrictive educational environment, and you present all supporting documents that you have, and they say yes or no. And then what we said before kicks in, all the other stuff that we're talking about. I don't want to get too, prescriptive here.
And because you're talking about services in the home, the ARD committee decides what services she's going to get and what that's going to look like. So
That TEA document doesn't limit what the ARD committee does.
that's exactly right.
That's absolutely correct.
I
Okay.
want to make that super, I'll say that again. I mean, forget about the proposals that haven't been accepted yet. All the other guidance that they have does not limit what the ARD committee can do.
That's
It's
right.
It's an individual plan.
Right. They have to, the ARD committee has to, that's why it's called an IEP, an individualized education plan, and they have to look at what each individual child's needs are, period.
Miss Soto said, thank you.
Okay.
Sorry to go on.
Okay, that's okay. All right. Are there any other questions that we have that we didn't address tonight in this seminar? Please feel free to text or speak up so we can get to that, because we're getting down to the end if not. Okay.
Yeah, I feel like a lot of the answers aren't ones that I like, just because that's where we are.
Yeah.
But please consider the options that we're talking about, and they don't have to happen independent of each other. I mean, if you're going to be doing some homebound while you're fighting the other stuff, if that's what's best for your kid, if that keeps you from withdrawing them, you might have to do that. And I mean, I'll say it again, doing what's best for your family is the most important thing.
Yes, I completely concur. And keeping your child safe and healthy is your number one job.
I think Ms. Gomez had a question here.
Oh, okay. If you've got it, go ahead and read it, Lou, or I will.
Okay, all right, let's see now. I have 3 children with autism and are with the general population, gen ed. But under the special ed program, my concern is them sitting still in their desk all day and having meltdowns, taking off their mask, that they were doing great on virtual because I sat with them all day during class. I feel they did great in interacting with teachers virtually. I was told I could get a waiver signed by the doctor of medical risk, but the waiver doesn't specify what the medical risk is.
Well, I think that the CDC has already said autism, right, guys?
I don't think they were asserting that the CDC said that. I'm saying that, I think they were saying that
Yes.
it fit the bill for what the CDC had said for others.
So autism, wait, whoever said this, let me just go back here.
I don't want to mischaracterize what they said.
Get to the beginning of some people with developmental disabilities are not, I'll just read it again, are not naturally.
Yeah, that's not
Sorry.
CDC guidance. That's their interpretation,
Okay, that's their interpretation.
which I think is correct. I would pitch that to an art committee
So,
as them fitting the bill for
mhm,
that like bracket of folks.
Right.
It's not a guarantee, that they're gonna accept that. But that's not some weird thing that they made up. I think that's a cogent, supportable argument.
I don't
Yeah.
know what a hearing officer would say on a scenario like that, but it's, you never.
Oh, here we
That's-
go.
took it straight from the CDC website.
Well, there you
Okay,
go.
well, there you go.
And
Okay.
quote, you know what? If you're typing your letter, quote it.
Quote them, yeah.
Yeah, quote it. Give them
You should,
the,
you
the
should
link.
cite, you should cite every direct link like that, especially if you're sending an
Absolutely.
email.
Perfect,
Absolutely. Yes.
perfect, perfect.
You
That's
could send them
great.
a well-sourced email that's brief and to the point.
Well, and that becomes part of the educational record if we have to do something about it, and we have to take them to due process. So
Yeah, I
it's
mean,
really
part of
important.
the reason you're going to the art committee is to have them say no on the record.
That's right.
Said, I am all for inclusion, but in this situation, we must be safe. Amen.
Without
That
a
is
doubt.
my number one.
That's what we're trying to do with this kind of virtual stuff.
Right.
I mean,
And
that's as opposed to asynchronous, 2 hours a day or 2 hours a week of it's
you know what? If you're going to do 2 hours a week, I get mad. If you're going to do 2 hours a week, do it yourself. Then you don't have to worry with somebody about turning in the papers and the packet and the whole thing. Yeah, 2 hours, that's nothing. So, yeah, I had
Yeah.
another thought, but it
yeah,
left
that's a
me.
long movie.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I mean, the point is we need to hold the school district's feet to the fire. They're a taxing entity. They are on the hook to provide a free and appropriate
I'm
public
interested to see how
education.
all this litigation comes out on the masks. Also,
Yeah, and for those of you that, I don't know, some people we had a higher number and then we lost some people, but for right now, the governor's, what the governor says is that school districts cannot mandate masks. That is on hold. So until August 23rd, unless something else happens, school districts can mandate masks now, thanks to Hank Bostwick and the Southern Center for Child Advocacy, for which Lou and I are associated. And Danielle, I think your law firm has filed some suits regarding the masks, and we talked about disability rights. Texas has, HISD, number of suits, but for now, school districts can mandate masks.
I'm going to put in the
cited that website Law and Crime cited the DRTX lawsuit and linked to it. So you can go on that website and link to this to that pleading. It's pretty good.
I'm going to go ahead and put my email address if somebody needs to get in touch with me. And
Can I just yell mine
a link
out?
to
So easy.
your resource page too.
yeah, right. Let's see. Also go to let's see. That's
Can you share a screen where folks can download the link to like your resource page that has all those links to them?
well, it's very simple. It's narda.org, and just go
Oh,
to
okay.
the resource. I'll give you that. That's narda.org. And Pat's email is pfreeze@gmail.com. And Danielle, what is your email?
Danielle I'm going to spell this CIRKIEL.
Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Danielle at
CIRKIELAW.com.
just one L, right?
Just one L. That's what always messes people up.
Okay, I'm setting that in the chat. So you got narda.org, Pat's email at pfreeze@gmail.com, Danielle's at Danielle at circullaw.com. I am recording this, so anybody that wanted to watch this later on, let them know. I'll put it up on my YouTube channel at SPED Radio, SPED Radio. And that's kind of it. So unless anybody's got any other questions, which doesn't look like you do,
Think we're
then
good.
we're good. And I appreciate everybody participating tonight, and y'all have a
Thanks for
pleasant
hanging
evening.
with us. Thanks for
Yeah.
hanging with us, everybody.
Good to see y'all.
Take care.
I'm fleeing the
Bye.
area.
Bye.
Bye-bye.